Hello, friends. Welcome back to another Parker's Speech episode. I'm currently out here at night in the rain. It's a very beautiful day. But yeah, into this video, I lost 10 grand in the stock market crash as a 19-year-old. Unfortunately, due to the Trump tariff announcement, obviously this sucks to say because of how pro-Trump I was. But I asked ChatGPT, and ChatGPT said it would make a good episode to record. So I'm basically going to explain how I lost 10K, what's happening in the current economy. I'm going to explain basic macroeconomics, and I'm basically going to explain what I believe will happen. Right? So a lot of people that don't know me, my name is Chase Parker. I'm 19. I go to university, also work a full-time job, also have various other hustles. And 2025 has definitely been a very, very interesting year so far. 2024, a lot of major countries had world elections, and we are already seeing that play out. And we're seeing big differences in the world, especially with the U.S. economy in general. But yeah, basically getting into the stock market crash, Trump announced his tariffs on April, what was it, April 2nd, and today's the 6th, so it's been about 4 days. Right now it's about Sunday night. So immediately when he announced the tariffs, the S&P 500 literally dropped 10% in a couple days. Like 10% dip in the S&P 500 in a week is crazy. I think it was even more than that. It was like 15%. So currently there is a lot of fear in the markets, a lot of the world markets as well. And typically when the US stock market drops, all markets drop. Everything seems to correlate. There's fear usually in the market. There's uncertainty. So people are selling their shares. They're taking out money, which causes prices to drop. So I've currently experienced about a 10K loss so far because anyone that's watched my hustling course or knows me, I talk about various things that I'm invested into. But basically, I had about 15 grand in my Roth IRA, which is pretty much just SPY shares, S&P 500 shares, which is basically just the U.S. stock market in general. And you could just imagine like 15K in an account that experiences a 20% decrease. I had a 3 grand decrease in that account. And obviously, a lot of people that know me know that within the past 6 months, I have been experimenting with Forex trading algorithms. Can't get the cigarette light. There we go. Can't even get it. Nope. There we go. So a lot of people that know me know that I've been experimenting with Forex trading algorithms so far this year. So far, I did very, very well. And I've been trading gold and obviously trading other Forex pairs. And for January, February, March, my account literally did like 7% per month just trading with an AI robot. So it did very, very well. I think I was up like 4 or 5 grand basically because I put in like 10K in January and I was slowly scaling it up. Anyway, right when the Trump tariff announcement came, I had like 50 grand in my Forex trading account, and I had an open trade on like Australian dollar, Canadian dollar. And as I mentioned, when US markets drop, all markets tend to drop. Forex, usually cryptos, followed by that. Even real estate markets are followed by that. So I think when China matched the US tariffs, that really hit the value of the Australian dollar really hard. So I think the value of the Australian dollar, when I looked at my trade, sorry about that, I got hit with the iPhone storage low notification. So I had to delete some stuff and then get back to recording. Well, anyway, when the Trump tariff announcement happened and China matched it, that really hit the Australian dollar pretty hard. So I had a bunch of trades open on Australian dollar. And basically the Australian dollar went from like 0.63 to 0.6. So from 63 cents to 60 cents in a day, which in a Forex market is a very, very big move, especially if you're in long positions. So basically I got cooked on some Forex trades. Well, I didn't get cooked. The robot got cooked. The AI algorithm that I was using. Luckily, with everything that I trade, I always use a stop loss because I've been doing this for years. I'm not stupid, and obviously I've had my fair share of losing money. So yeah, I think that Forex account literally lost like 7K in one day in value just from that announcement, not necessarily because of the US stock market, but because of it hit other markets as well. So, yeah, so I've lost about 10K pretty much due to the markets. And I'm not actually upset. I mean, obviously, I'm going to have to make some adjustments in my life right now. Can't get this freaking cigarette. I'm going to have to make some adjustments because obviously I had other ideas for this year. Like I wanted to buy a rental property. I have other projects that I wanted to invest to, blah, blah, blah. But now that I'm kind of 10 grand down on equity, my spending cash is a bit more limited. So I'm being very, very, I guess, conservative, having a very conservative approach so far for the rest of this year. So, but a lot of people don't actually understand what is currently happening with this Trump tariff and what Trump is trying to do. So basically, typically when markets drop and prices go down, everything tends to correlate. So say if the US stock market drops, house prices practically drop because people have less money, people are investing in less markets, people are buying less houses. That causes the prices of houses to go down. And basically that makes it more affordable for you to buy a home. So let's say with me, I want to buy a rental property, right? Say the rental property I want to buy is 250K now, but because of this, maybe by the end of this year, the property I want to buy by the end of this year might be 200 grand. So yes, I might have lost 10 grand on stocks on paper, but I mean, perhaps if that causes the price of everything else to go down, then perhaps you'll get a 50K discount on something you were already going to buy anyway. So, I mean, it might actually not be the worst thing in the entire world. And obviously losing money isn't necessarily Trump's fault. Trump can't control people want to withdraw money from their accounts. Obviously, there's a lot of fear and uncertainty in the market. And when there's a lot of fear and uncertainty in the market, people are selling their shares, they're pulling equity out, which causes shares to go down. And that's not necessarily Trump's fault. What Trump is trying to do is he's trying to crash the market essentially on purpose. As I mentioned, lower prices, and that's also going to incentivize the Fed to lower interest rates. So basically, people in the US can borrow money for free to use for businesses, to use for mortgages, to buy property, to buy assets, which is basically going to help the economy grow even better. It's going to help the average US citizen. And on top of, lowering the rates. Typically, when there is a recession, which I guess is what we would technically be described as being in now. Typically, when there's a recession, say the S&P 500 is down 20% from its peak, which I mean, I think we're very close to that. In February, like 620? And literally in almost a little bit longer than a month, the S&P 500 has lost nearly 20% in value, which is kind of crazy. I mean, I know in 2022, as long as I've been doing this, the S&P 500 dropped like 25% in a year. So 20% drawdown in a month is very, very, very rare. So obviously, it's not permanent. Obviously, people are within the next couple of years, people are going to be buying up their shares. They're going to keep investing into retirement accounts. So prices are going to go up eventually. Obviously, now that it sucks that I've lost 10K, but I mean, I know I'm definitely going to get it back easily because I'm smart and I've been in the game for a little bit. Also, that's what I was thinking about. Typically, during a recession, the Fed is going to lower interest rates, as I already mentioned, but they're also going to turn on the money printer as well. So what happens when the Fed turns on the money printer? We saw this during COVID, right? The Fed turns on the money printer, gives out stimulus checks, prints millions of dollars to basically stimulate the economy like they did during COVID. What does that cause? That makes the prices of everything go up. It makes stocks go up. It makes crypto go up. It made Bitcoin go up. It makes the average value of a house blow up. Like right now, I'm chilling at my parents' house. My parents bought this house here in 2018, so 7 years ago when I was like 12. And just over COVID, the value of the house literally doubled because of printing money, because of inflation. So the good news is if during a bad market, if you have cash, if you have equity, this is perhaps one of the greatest opportunities that you could ever have. So one thing that I'm looking to do is, okay, if I know that we're in a bad market, and I know that perhaps Trump is looking to make the Fed lower interest rates, I can then maybe acquire business capital easier. It'll maybe make it easier to buy a house because the mortgage rates will be easier. And relative to what the current prices have been lately, the prices will be lower. So I can then buy assets at lower prices. And then when the Fed turns on the money printer again, like they did in 2021 and everything went to the moon, they're going to shoot up. You saw the exact same thing happen in 2008. Stock market drops. There's a lot of fear in the market. Guess what? Home prices drop. Home prices basically get an all-time low. And if you're a real estate investor, or if you're someone and you're sitting on a lot of capital during a bad market, you can buy up a lot of these assets and then actually make a lot of money. So perhaps this is a great opportunity. I know with me, unfortunately, I'm moving into a new era where I'm a sophomore in university now, and I've done quite well managing everything my first 2 years of university. But I'm going to be 20 in July, so I kind of got to get focused on life. I mean, I already have been pretty focused on life. I got to end up finishing school and trying to do well in university. I know that's going to take up a lot of time. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to work basically all day, every day like I wish I could. So unfortunately, I don't know where my income is going to be coming at consistently, especially obviously losing 10K in just a small amount of time. Obviously hurts. I know I'm going to be putting more work ever into Chase Parker Enterprises to actually try to generate more revenue and turn it into like a real business. Because at first I actually made Chase Parker Enterprises as a joke. I made it as a meme among my friends when I graduated high school. I literally just made a website and I made my Instagram page, Chase Parker Enterprises, and now it's just kind of a thing. And some people have actually bought stuff from me and they say I'm the CEO of Chase Parker Enterprises. It just becomes the thing after a while. So now I'm genuinely trying to turn Chase Parker Enterprises into its own brand, kind of like what Trump did with Trump. But basically, that's basically everything that's currently happening in the current world. And if you understand basic macroeconomics, you understand why this isn't actually perhaps the worst thing in the world. Because basically what happens during bad markets, a lot of people are withdrawing their money, they're selling assets, they're buying less assets. So that makes the price go down because the market cap of equities and commodities are lower, which basically incentivizes the Fed to lower interest rates, make it easier to borrow money. And then they also turn on the money printer as well, which makes the prices go up and up and up. So perhaps if you're an investor now and you're sitting on cash and you're watching the market, this could perhaps be a very good opportunity. But yeah, I lost 10K in the market during Trump's tariff announcement at 19, and I'm making this video about it. But I've been in the game for a while. Like I said, I got into stocks and investments in 2020 when I was like 14, 15. And even then, I think the S&P 500 was like $2,000 a share. So things are going to bounce back. I mean, it's fine. I understand what's happening in the world. And a lot of people are currently panicking, and they're basically saying Trump's an idiot. And they're basically saying that he's ruining people's 401k accounts. Which, as of right now, yes, most people's 401k accounts have lost probably a significant amount of money. Especially if you're retired, that does hurt. But I do believe that perhaps there will be some good in this, and I'm sure hoping there will be. So that was another Parker speech. I love each and every single one of you very, very much. I hope you learned quite a bit about macroeconomics and basically what's happening in the current world. So, goodbye. Have a great day. Be safe.